What's the first your Erasure song that pops in your head? For a lot of people, it's A Little Respect. But is it their best? We're about to count down their 10 greatest hits, and our number one pick is guaranteed to get people talking. Erasure has one of the most beloved catalogs in synthpop. But what are their absolute greatest hits? We're counting them down, and our number one might not be the one you're expecting. So how do you even begin to rank a catalog as iconic as Erasure's? For this list, we're looking at a combination of factors: chart success, cultural staying power, and our own deep dive into the songwriting and production that made Vince Clarke and Andy Bell synth pop gods. We're analyzing it all to settle the debate once and for all. This is our definitive ranking, from number 10 all the way to a very controversial number 1. Coming in at number 10 is the 1987 hit Victim of Love. This track is just pure perfect pop. Released as a third single from their second album, The Circus, this is the song that cemented their status as major hitmakers. It's built on an insistent rhythm, a killer acoustic guitar line, and Andy Bell's soulful, soaring vocals. Lyrically, it's a declaration of self-preservation, a plea from someone who's been hurt and is terrified of becoming a victim of love again. It's a powerful theme wrapped in a package you can't help but dance to. The song became their second top 10 single in the UK, hitting number 7 and even topped the US dance chart. Here's a great little detail. The single was a remixed version, beefed up from the album cut to give it a extra radio punch, and it's absolutely worked. It's a fantastic song, but it lands at number 10 because the songs higher on this list made an even bigger cultural splash. Kicking off the 9s is the 1990 classic Blue Savannah. From that very first piano flourish, you just know you're in for something special. Blue Savannah is a joyous, uplifting love song from their chart-topping album, Wild. Critics at the time called it effervescent and sensual, and they weren't wrong. It's Erasure at their absolute best. The song is about finding a home and a sense of peace in another person, with the Blue Savannah serving as a metaphor for that serenity you find in love. That feeling of devotion clearly connected with audiences, sending the song straight to number 3 on the UK singles chart. And you have to talk about the music video, directed by the legendary Kevin Godley. It features a mysterious blue hand that gradually paints Vince and Andy completely blue as they perform. It's as surreal and dreamy as the song itself. Blue Savannah is pure pop bliss, but it's at number 9 because its biggest chart impact was in Europe, keeping it just out of the top tier of their global smashes. At number 8, we've got Love to Hate You. Released in 1991, this track is a masterclass in pop irony. Pulled from the album Chorus, Love to Hate You brilliantly smashes together a soaring ABBA-style disco melody with lyrics that are just dripping with the sweet pain of a toxic relationship. On paper, it shouldn't work, but it absolutely does. That thumping Euro disco beat makes you want to dance, while Andy Bell sings a story of romantic frustration that everyone understands. It was a huge success, giving the band another top 5 hit in the UK and becoming a modern rock staple in the US. And one of those details that shows Vince Clarke's genius, that moment his voice gets chopped up and fused with the synth on the line, I love to hate you. a production trick that still sounds incredible today. It's a fan favorite, but it sits at number 8 because, for all its cleverness, it doesn't quite have the raw emotional gut punch of the songs to come. Coming in at number 7 is the song that started it all for many fans, O L'Amour. Believe it or not, when O L'Amour was released in 1986 from their debut album, Wonderland, it was a commercial flop in the UK and the US. But its infectious energy and classic story of unrequited love made it a monster hit in dance clubs, especially thanks to the iconic Funky Sisters remix. Its popularity has only snowballed over time, becoming one of Erasure's true signature songs. Fun fact, the song was inspired by the classic all-female film The Women, and Andy Bell described the track's vibe as gay humor, inspired by a character who was constantly moaning about her love life with the line, "Oh, l'amour, l'amour." Proving that some classics just need time, the song was re-released in 2003 to promote a greatest hits album and finally became a UK top 20 hit. At number 6, we have the explosive dance floor command, Stop. Released as a part of the Crackers International EP in late 1988, Stop is pure, uncut, high-energy synth pop. It's an absolute powerhouse that became one of their most popular songs, peaking at number 2 in the UK charts. It landed right after the massive success of their album, The Innocents, and was proof they had zero intention of slowing down. The song is just a breathless burst of joy with a driving beat and vocal form Andy Bell that feels both commanding and celebratory. To this day, it's a guaranteed party starter. Here's the twist. While it was a monster in the UK, its journey in the US was way more modest, only reaching number 97 on the Billboard Hot 100. That's why it's at number 6, a UK phenomenon that didn't quite get the same global chart domination as our top 5. All right, now we're getting into the certified masterpieces. These are songs that defined an era. Kicking off our top 5 is the lush ethereal ballad Always. When Always came out in 1994, it was a stunning change of pace. Taken from the album I Say, I Say, I Say, it's a dreamy, synth-driven declaration of eternal love that showed a more vulnerable side of the band. It became a massive global hit, reaching number 4 in the UK, and importantly, climbing to number 20 on the US Billboard Hot 100, their first big pop hit there in 6 years. The song also has a fascinating musical quirk. The chorus shifts time signature for the final line, harmony, harmony, oh love, a subtle, brilliant touch that gives the phrase a unique, floating feeling. Of course, for a new generation, Always is the unforgettable theme from the wonderfully bizarre Flash game Robot Unicorn Attack, which introduced its majestic glory to millions and cemented its place in internet culture. It's an undeniable classic that proved Erasure could still dominate well into the 1990s. At number 4, it's the song that broke them wide open in America, Chains of Love. This is the sound of a breakthrough. As the second single from their huge 1988 album, The Innocents, Chains of Love was Erasure's ticket to mainstream stardom in the United States. While it was a solid hit in the UK, it shot all the way to number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming their highest charting single in the US. The song is an upbeat dance track featuring a memorable falsetto from Andy in the chorus. Lyrically, it's a subtle call for broader acceptance of gay couples a plea to break the chains of stereotypes around what love should be. A neat production tidbit. The album version starts cold, but the single mix adds a short synth intro, a small tweak that gave it that extra lift for radio. Chains of Love is the anthem that opened the floodgates for their American success. Here's where things get dicey. Coming in at number 3 is A Little Respect. I know, for many people, this is the quintessential Erasure song, and some of you are probably already furious. But hear me out. Released in 1988, A Little Respect is without a doubt a perfect pop song. It's an unforgettable plea for compassion set to a brilliant mix of jangly acoustic guitar and pulsing synths. It was a massive hit, reaching number 4 in the UK and number 14 in the US. It has become a timeless anthem for the LGBTQ community and beyond, a call for basic human decency that feels more relevant than ever. Its legacy is immeasurable, but our ranking considers multiple factors. And while its cultural impact is off the charts, it was slightly edged out on some charts by our top 2 picks. For instance, it was their second top 20 hit in the US, following the breakthrough of Chains of Love. It's one of the greatest synth-pop songs ever written, but on our list, it just misses the top 2. At number 2 is the title track from their third consecutive number 1 album in the UK, Chorus. Released in 1991, Chorus was a bold statement. After a string of massive albums, Vince and Andy came back with a sound that was harder, more electronic, and clearly influenced by the growing techno scene. Vince Clarke had gotten fed up with the limits of MIDI sequencing and built a studio full of analog synths to create a tighter, more powerful sound. And you can hear it in every single beat of this track. The song is an absolute sonic marvel. It was a huge success, debuting at number 3 in the UK charts and making a real dent in the US, hitting number 4 on the modern rock chart. Let's be honest, if you're going to name a song chorus, that chorus better be incredible. And this one absolutely delivers. It's ambitious, powerful, and represents Erasure at their creative and commercial peak. And now for our number 1. The greatest Erasure song of all time is Sometimes. This might be a shock, but this is the song that truly made Erasure superstars. Released in 1986, Sometimes was their 4th single, and after the first 3 failed to chart in a big way, this was the one that finally hit. It rocketed to number 2 in the UK and became a giant hit across Europe, establishing the signature Erasure sound. More than any other track, Sometimes is the perfect distillation of their magic. You have Vince Clarke's upbeat, danceable synth track, but it's layered with acoustic guitar and even a live trumpet solo, giving it a rich, organic warmth many of their peers just didn't have. And then you have Andy Bell's lyrics, a beautiful, heartbreaking take on the vulnerability and pain of being in love. It's about being drawn back to someone who mistreats you, knowing it's wrong but being unable to help it. That combination of joyful music and sad lyrics is the essence of Erasure. It was their breakthrough, the moment the world truly saw their genius. It's not just a great pop song, it's the foundation of their entire legacy. It's perfect, and it's our number 1. And that's our list. We know you've got opinions, so let us know in the comments. What's your number 1 Erasure song? What did we get completely wrong? We read them all. From dance floor fillers to heartbreaking ballads, Erasure's music has a joy and a soul that is simply timeless. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, you will not want to miss our upcoming ranking of Depeche Mode's greatest hits. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it.